Yeah, the powerful part of this is like the hospital takes you out of home, and if you have a C-section, you're out of home for 3 days. Like that's like you're out of your space, you're out of like your routine and away from your other children. And this place, I was in and out in 7 hours. It was my third birth when I used the birthing like center experience, and that was so amazing. We came in at 12:45 and we were home by bedtime at 8 p.m. and we got to put our kids to bed. I've always been naturally inclined, like for a natural birth. That just always sounded like intriguing to me, and I did my research. And when I got pregnant when I was 24, that was my goal, and I took classes and I had a one-on-one coaching experience that really helped me prepare for it. But when I showed up to the hospital with like essentially strangers, and it was an old hospital, old establishment, and an old doctor, nobody was on my same team. And with my first experience, I came out of that with a lot of birth trauma because I was left alone and thrown in stirrups, which stirrups are like the worst position for a natural birthing process. And I didn't have an epidural at this point, and I was pushing. So I was just stuck, like really in this stuck position. And that's like created this trauma that I just really didn't know how to handle and deal with. And I had to go to a lot of therapy for the next 8 years, like processing that and going through the process of why that even happened. And so I did have another baby in that 8-year period. And then I finally found resolution through therapy and through like my own resolve of searching for peace. And then when I got pregnant with my third, this was 9 years after the first baby, I told my husband, I said, I am not going to stay in a hospital ever again. There's an option called a birthing center, and he's like, I didn't even know that existed. And I had been introduced to it by friends, and he got on board really quickly, and he started Google searching and found my family birthing center in Ogden, and he called and made an appointment for us to go. So he, like, during this 9-year process, we had a lot better communication. He was much more understanding of my like natural inclination of the birthing process, and he found Loretta. And even from our first visit with her, she was in, like she was, and he was in, like he was telling jokes with her, and we just really had a great experience. And when we came to appointments, every time her hobby was what his job was, like they intertwined. And so they would just chat about his work, and it was more like visiting a friend that knew us and involved us in their life. And we knew how, like, her personality, how she interacted with us, and she's just so motherly and kind. And so that really was when I like knew we were in the right place, was when we felt that connection with her. And she was so like medically inclined, very, very much had all the state-of-the-art equipment. We were just so impressed by her medical knowledge and the way she could bring us into her life and the warmth. And the other thing that attracted me to the birthing center experience is they have queen size beds, so it's not exclusively this is the woman's process. It's like, no, this is the intimate process. This is the fulfilling of the sexual relationship of a man and a wife. And the man can be there with his wife as she's going through the labor process, and even resting afterwards. They are there together with baby. It's like the most special, beautiful bonding experience, because there's space for the man. It's not just exclusively like this is a woman's job to deliver the baby. So the day that we had the baby, it was like it brought together this miracle that I'd been searching for 9 years. And Loretta was so like integral in that story, and that bringing together of the story. Like, she has changed our lives. And we return to the day that May was born, like over and over and over again, as we struggled through our lives. And we've used it as this example of like, this is what God has in store if we allow it. And this is what Loretta is open to have this relationship with father, mother, baby, and siblings. Like, it just really brought the story together that I needed for my personal life and personal healing. And I'm just forever grateful for her. The birth story is pretty, it's pretty impactful because obviously I'd done this before, and this was my third experience. And I walked into the clinic and had the baby 10 minutes after I walked in. Like, I was laboring in the back of my Subaru Outback. I had my husband fold down all the seats, and he put a foam pad in there and towels and blankets. And so I was comfortable, but I really did have the baby as soon as I got to the birthing center. And so I didn't have like a long experience in the birthing center. But I think people also think that there's no intervention with natural birth. And as soon as I had the baby, it was clear that the placenta needed to come out, and it needed to come out quickly, more quickly than the body was naturally doing it, because I was losing blood. And so we used Pitocin in the birthing center through shot form, and I was really happy with that. And I'm not like, I don't want zero intervention, but I just want knowledgeable, consented intervention. I think that's really important. And then I also use oxygen to get my oxygen levels back up, and that was super important that day too. So the tools are available at a birthing center without the pressure.